Technology report, take 2. Okay, so for tech report, 1-page report, you can do anything on any of these subjects. I gave you some examples today, like the bicycle, electric bike, going from, standard pedal-powered bike to electric, and cars. I can't help but being a car lover, like I said, because my last name starts with car. That's the first 3 letters. So I love the cars. You could do planes. You could do internet technology. You could do your cell phone. You could do any of that. One of the things we'll do is computer-aided drafting, CAD. Remember that. The target for today is define CAD, C-A-D, computer-aided drafting. Some people will call it computer-assisted drafting. Some people call it computer-assisted drafting and design with the 2 Ds. But this is one thing that you can do from home that is interactive. Part of the problem will be, though, depending on what platform you have. If you have a Windows machine, you'll have to use eMachine Shop. If you have a Mac, you can use generic CAD. If you have a Chromebook, you can use Google's Chrome product, which their CAD program is called Google SketchUp. Has anyone used Google SketchUp in here? Most of them are pretty similar. But I put this on the website, and some of you guys that have done some CAD before, I'm going to minimize this, and you go. Remember, when I'm recording, I put the red light on there, means no talking. I go on here and I put there's in the Google Classroom. I just added a bunch of technology stuff. You could also look on the Strive page right here, and these are all things that you could do for a tech report, any of these areas. I start with the definition of technology there. I put this on our Google Classroom page, but it can also be found on whopitch.com/Strive. These are the areas of technology: construction, communication, manufacturing. Note to self, we will have a quiz where I ask you, what are the areas of technology? You will write down for 100 points: construction, communication, manufacturing, power, energy, and transportation. Okay? You'll write those areas down, and then, like I said, now there is a 5th group called emerging technology or other technology. But anything in one of these areas, like what I'm doing today, falls under communication technology. That's internet, that's computer-aided drafting, that's computer stuff. If it takes place over in the shop, it's construction technology. Okay? Power, energy, and transportation, that's your cars, airplanes, bikes, any transportation. But today we're doing some CAD, C-A-D, computer-aided drafting. I want you to learn the Mac platform, Macintosh computer, and PC. And I will give you an example of the eMachine Shop here. I think that's it right there. Okay. Now listen closely to this. And 8th graders that have done this a little bit, I'll have you help some of the 7th graders. But basically, this is like your piece of drawing paper right here. Okay. This is your piece of drawing paper. This is your drag down menu. Most CAD programs have a drag down menu across the top, and then a tool palette on the side. You need to know those 3 things: work area, drag down menu, and then tool palette. That's also called your toolbox. Now, if I want to start a new drawing, I can select whatever I have on there, and probably one of the easiest way to do it is just delete that. Hit delete on the keyboard. If I want a drawing to be done this quick, if I just want to do a simple, a simple design here, and maybe I want to do something with a hole in the middle, I'll come back and make another rectangle inside there, hole in the middle, except that one under the depth, the Z-axis, I need everybody paying attention right here. I got 2 people not paying attention, and I'm going to stop and start over if you're not paying attention. Otherwise, that can be done in just a few minutes. Okay? So for this inside one, I take and set the Z-axis at either 0 or air inside. Okay? This is the X-axis. Maybe you guys know that from math. X-axis goes this way, horizontal. Z-axis, that's how big the object is this way. That's up and down. This, the Y-axis is vertical, up and down. Z-axis is what makes it 3D, okay? Air inside means there's nothing there in the middle there, okay? So now if I look at this guy, I go over to the triangle, and I look at it in 3D, that's it in 3D. It's just kind of like a hollow object, okay? Now, if I wanted to get more technical on this, I could add depth. So I come back here to this object and say, rather than being 0.0625, which is a 1/16 of an inch, I'm going to make that have a depth of 2 inches. Now when I look at it, when I look at it 3D, you can see how it's got some depth to it, right? See how it's got the depth to it? Okay, so that, now I should share one other thing. Right now I'm just giving you a quick example, but if I have to give you measurements and do something really accurate, first of all, if I go to my arrow tool, I'm going to just make a window around that, select it and go delete everything on there. Because what I want to do first is go up here, I go to the 1:1 to make it a 1:1 ratio. I come over here to the preferences, which is the next one next to the X or the delete one. And I go to preferences. You can also do that by hitting the F2 key. And I'm going to set my distance between the dots at 0.5. That's a 1/2 of an inch. Okay? So now I go 0.5. I mean it, if you're not paying attention, you're going to get detention. So I'm almost done here. I go here. I'm going to make it 2.5 inches tall. If you look up at the very top there, that's 2.5 inches by 5 inches. Right there. This is an actual drawing from the drafting book. 5 inches long by 2.5. The depth, rather than being 0.0625, is 1.5 inches. And then I have to make sure that I hit the return key. Now I'm going to go over, and for the inside part of it, 1/2 inch down to 1/2 inch up, 1 inch over, and I take and set that one to air inside, and that makes the first object that's an actual drawing from the book. Okay? This is the actual drawing, I think it's number 4 in the textbook. Okay? So that's by doing it by rectangles. If you're just choosing to make the entire box, of course not everything's going to be a parallelogram like that. So sometimes I have to go up here, I'll select this. It's easier to just select it and get rid of it because I don't need to save these anyway. They just take a minute to do. And then I don't have to do all the settings for the grid. These dots are called the grid. So I come over here and I'll go boom. I'm going to make this 2.5 inches tall. Let's go 2.5, right about there. 5 inches long. That's about 4. 5's about there. Boom. And that one over to there. And this is actually the first drawing out of the book. If I press the shift key, it'll automatically straighten, because that line got a little bit messed up, as you can see. So probably if I take this now, and if I go up here to make a box around it, and go to look at it in 3D, it's going to say, hey, this thing's kind of messed up. Do you want to fix it? And it'll fix it for you. Okay? So there it made the object. What it did not do, though, is add the depth to it. So if I want to add depth to it, I select the object, and then I come over here, set the depth at 1.5 inches. And now when I look at 3D, it's got some depth to it. Okay? And you can see the different views, front view, side view, okay? Top view there. All right? Questions? Comments? This one's eMachine Shop. Now I gotta figure out how we can do this where maybe on a small class like this, I could pair you up. How many of you know what platform you have at home? Like, do you, as far as if you have Windows, or you have Mac or Apple, or Google Classroom, or Google, Chromebooks are a Google product, so those are the big three companies there. But we gotta figure that out, like which platform do you have? If you have Google, you can go to like Google Classroom, and I think that if you go to the different Google apps, SketchUp, it might be under the Google Marketplace. I mean, I told you that this parent company is called Alphabet, but all of this is all Google stuff right here. Okay. Oh, dang it.